this is a video that I planned on giving to you guys for Christmas, but I just didn't have time to do it. And what it is a little look back at my favourite builds that I created myself from 2023. So what we're going to do today is go down from 5 to 1. It's going to be a top 5 kind of moment. And we're going to go over my personal favourite builds that I created last year. I'm also going to go over my favourite things about them, but I'm also going to go over what I would do to change them now that I'm looking at them with fresh eyes. I just thought this would have been a nice kind of like fun way to kind of see what we created together last year on the channel. And that is what I want to do today. Very exciting times. So we're going to go down the list from 5 to 1 and we're going to find out what my favourite build was of last year. We're going to fly on over and start with the build coming in at number 5. And that build is Bagley House. Bagley House was a Georgian-fronted country home that was built on a 50 by 40 lot in Henford-on-Bagley. The house is very large. It's got 4 bedrooms, consisting of 3 large bedrooms that all have double beds, and a children's bedroom too. This house also had 2 living areas, one being used for an actual living room itself, and also a music room too. And on the same level, it's got a huge family kitchen and a rather big dining room. I used a lot of CC with this build and I just had a lot of fun getting in my favourite looks into this kind of style of house. In the garden, it's a tiered garden, so it kind of like rises up with like a fountainy statue bit at the top. It also had an orangery where you could grow all of your own plants and stuff in a very nice kind of detached area away from the house in a very kind of Georgian Victorian kind of style. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this house and this house went down really well with you guys. I know that you really enjoyed this too. Now my favourite bit about the house, it has to be the hallway. There was just something about these stairs with the green tiles and the open kind of double doors like leading into different areas of the house. I just loved it. I really, really did. Now, if I went back to this build and wanted to change something about it, I think I would have darkened down the older part of the house. Because it's Georgian fronted, behind the house itself, I would imagine that was a lot older. I kind of wish I did a bit more of a darker brick on that. But we are going to take a lot of inspiration from this style of build for the next save file for Let's Build the Worlds, because we are going to be in Henford-on-Bagley. So I definitely want to do something very much in the vein of this house for the next Let's Build the Worlds. But yeah, I love this build. I really, really do. And I know that you guys really liked it too. Now the house coming in at number 4 is the 1970s modern home that I also built with lots of custom content. This house was on a 30 by 20 lot in the world of Glimmerbrook. I just thought it really suited this world, like the trees and the fact it was out in nature and there was this kind of juxtaposition of having a nice big modern home there. I just thought it was really lovely. The house consists of an open plan living, kitchen and dining area, which I absolutely love this area in this house. And this was the first house that I ever did when we were able to paint the ceilings or put wallpapers or flooring on the ceilings. So I think that's why this house has also got a really kind of special place in my heart. That is something I've wanted implemented into the game for such a bloody long time. And we finally had it with this place. It's also got 2 bedrooms. One of them a double bedroom and another one almost like a single bed, but with a bit of an office space as well. And throughout the whole home, it's very much a 1970s sort of modern aesthetic going through it. Lots of 70s influences with colors and tones and stuff, but with a bit more of a modern flair. And underneath of the house itself, because the house is cantilevered, was this really nice kind of entertaining area with a swimming pool. It had a fire pit in this area as well, and also a bit of a barbecue and dining space. I just loved how this house flowed. It was really simple and really clean cut. I'd love to do something very similar to this one day, maybe a little bit more of a bigger version. My favorite bit about this build was the skylight corridor. There was just something about this corridor that had all of this natural light flooding through with all of this wood going down. I don't know what it was, but architecturally, from my eyes, I thought it was really, really pretty to look at. And there's something I would change about this house. It would probably have to be the fact that it was only a 2-bedroom. I would have liked to have seen a few more rooms, maybe a couple more bedrooms to make it a bit more of a bigger family house. But yeah, that is definitely my 4th favourite of this year, the 1970s modern home. I just loved this build. And as with all of them, they're all up on the gallery if you do want to go and download them. Now, coming in at number 3 is my San Myshuno park that I built for Let's Build the Worlds. This lot was built on the 64 by 64 Central Park area in San Myshuno. It is a huge modern park. There's so many things that you can do in this park as well, which is what I wanted for gameplay. It's also got a big skywalk connecting one side of the park to the other. So there's a big walkway that you can walk across and get to the other side. I really loved that aspect about it. It's got a children's park area with swings and places for them to play and a sand pit and a little like cart for them to go and get something to eat in. There was also a splash pad area where the children can frolic around in the water, watched by their parents of all of the like benches and stuff around it. It also had a really nice little cafe area that you can hire a vendor to come in and grab yourself a cheeky little cappuccino while sitting down and watching the world go by. There was also a community garden area too, where you could just go and forage for some herbs or fruits or whatever. There was also a wedding venue too, where your Sims can go to this park and get married in a kind of covered but open aspect sort of like feel, in this kind of like modern sort of dome that I made from roof pieces. And I just thought that was a really nice look, and it looks so much better at night as well. There was also a barbecue spot that was all covered as well, so your Sims can cook up a storm. There was also a outdoor gym area complete with a climbing wall. And there was also an arena with multiple places where your Sims can sit and watch their favorite performers. And I just liked this concept about it. I thought it was really nice. This park kind of flowed really nicely as well. And there was just so many things to do in it, which I just loved player testing it. I really did. I spent a few hours in here making sure that everything ran correctly. My favorite bit about the build, it has to be the skywalk. There was just something about this big kind of walkway that connected one side of the park to the other. I just really loved that. I definitely want to implement that into another build maybe one day. So let's see what happens there. If I had to change something about this park, it would probably be the fact that I only used kind of one type of tree. And that was because in my head, I had the idea of this was a brand new kind of urban park that they just bought all of the same tree in. But I kind of wish that I played around with the trees a little bit more now. I mean, I still could. I could go and change it, but that's just something I wish I thought of from the get-go, really. Just changing those trees around and making it a little bit more different, to be honest. But yeah, San Myshuno Park comes in at number 3. And I had a lot of fun building this because we did it in a kind of let's build format as well. So we were here a few weeks, weren't we, guys? But I had so much fun. I really, really did. Now, coming in at number 2 is the Thunderhawk Ranch. So this was the build that I really wanted to get out for the new expansion, the Horse Ranch expansion. It is on a 64 by 64 lot in the world of Chestnut Ridge. And it consists of a colonial farmhouse with 3 bedrooms. I kind of did 2 double bedrooms and a children's bedroom as well in this house. It also had a huge kitchen and dining space for you to entertain all your friends and family. And 2 living areas as well. One of them being a bit more of a living room and the other being a bit more of a music room where the family could get around by the piano and stuff. The lot also had a stable area for 3 horses. And in these stable areas, there were places for your sim to actually make nectar too. There were storage areas for your nectar to kind of age and stuff. I liked that about that particular area. And there was also an extra barn area that had a greenhouse connected to the side of it, where your sims could grow whatever they may wish to actually make the nectar with. And I just thought it was a really nice vibe on this farm. And going into my favorite things about it, my favorite thing, it was just, it felt very real. It felt very, very realistic. The amount of hours I spent on this ranch just playing around with all of the new implements and stuff with the horses, it was amazing. I had a really, really good time. Things I would probably change about this house, it's beginning to be a bit of a trend, but I would add a few more bedrooms, maybe another bedroom or even an extra 2 bedrooms to make this a bit more of a bigger family home. Maybe go out the back a little bit more with the farmhouse and change the shape of it like that. But because it was such a big lot and the family that I had in mind that were moving into this place, 3 bedrooms is what I built it for. But if I was to go back and do it again, I would definitely make it a bit more of a bigger house. And I would like to go back and do another ranch build at some point. So let me know down below if you would like to see that from me. And so we've reached the end. We've reached the end and there's only one build left. So coming in at number 1, my favorite build that I built in 2023 was the Recreation Center that I built in San Sequoia when the Growing Together expansion pack was released. It was built on a 64 by 64 lot in a very kind of modern style. This lot had a lot of things going on with it as well. So much like San Myshuno Park, there were just tons and tons of things to do. And again, I player tested this to death. And it just worked really well. It flowed really well. And I had so much bloody fun with it. I did. There were lots of outdoor areas, including a children's play park and a toddler area, including a splash pad on this lot too. There was a gym area where your Sims could work out and a yoga studio where you could hire a yoga instructor to come and teach everybody. There were climbing walls, a cafeteria down on this level as well. Again, adding in a Sim to come and serve everybody food was really fun. And also some changing rooms where your Sim could go and get changed after the gym and have a shower and whatnot. I thought that was really important. And this was all kind of like tucked underneath of the build as well in like a sort of basement but open aired kind of concept. And I just loved that. I think it flowed really nicely. Into the actual build itself, it had a community library area where your Sims could sit down and play some board games on the tables together. There was also a creche for children or toddlers or babies, in case your like Sim wanted to go and read, and then they could just put them in the creche area and let them have their own little space. It worked really well in gameplay with Sims with children, it really did. And then being a recreation centre, there was also an art studio upstairs where your Sim could learn to paint and just have a good old time. And also a music room where your Sim could perfect up their instrumental skills. I just love how it all flowed together, and it was very a modern build. I really liked how everything looked. Once I player tested it, it was just a lot of fun to play in. And it's definitely one of my favourite community lots that I've ever built, I think, if not my most favourite. Now, weirdly, my favourite part is the outside stair area that I created using some platforms. I just love how the Sims all use this and like walk up to the level. It just looks really cool. And there's lots of like seating outside as well where they can sit down and just chat with each other. I just loved that bit about it, and that inspired me to do that in quite a few other builds that I've been creating recently. My San Myshuno Museum of Modern Art, I was kind of inspired to do that kind of platform moment on there too. And it gets down to what would I change about this build? I wouldn't, to be honest with you. I'd like to see it in a different aesthetic, like color-wise. So maybe a different color, a bit darker or something like that. But other than that, I was so happy with how this came out that I didn't want to change anything. I really, really didn't. So yeah, that is my favorite build of 2023, is the recreation center that I built in the world of San Sequoia. You'll have to let me know what you think your favorite build of last year was that I created, or even your own. What was your favorite build down below? And if you want me to go and check it out on the gallery and stuff, please leave me your like EA username, because I'm going to be making a video in the coming months about some really cool builds that I've seen up on the gallery. But that's it. I just thought this would be a nice short little cute video today, just going over my favorite builds of last year. But it was the fun year, wasn't it? It really, really was. But we have got lots to come on this channel. I've got so many good ideas flowing through my brain, so be on the lookout for them to be implemented onto the channel in the next coming months. But that's it, my darlings. I hope you have the most marvelous weekends. I'm going to be back on Tuesday with some more Let's Build the Worlds. Leave me some gorgeous comments down below, and I will see you all next week.